Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Giacomini and I have been asked to read the land acknowledgement. Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes and labor to making the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave distant homes in hope of a better life. And some are indigenous to this land. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. We begin this effort by honoring the truth and paying tribute through a formal land acknowledgement. As we begin this Baccalaureate ceremony in Manhattan, we are standing on the ancestral lands of the Lenape people. We pay respect to their elders, past and present. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us here together today at NYU and New York City. Thank you.
Welcome and congratulations. One big round of applause. My name is John White, and I'm the Associate Dean of Students here in Global Liberal Studies, so I oversee academic advising and student affairs. And I have the privilege this morning of introducing our Dean, Julie Mostov. Julie Mostov joined NYU in August 2017 as the first woman Dean of Liberal Studies, bringing years of experience in global engagement, a deep grounding in the liberal arts, and a commitment to interdisciplinary research and teaching. In addition to her many scholarly achievements, Dr. Mostov spearheaded a wide range of global initiatives and international research and academic partnerships at Drexel University as Senior Vice Provost of Global Initiatives and Professor of Politics, and earlier in her career as Director of International Area Studies and Women's Studies. She also has been a longtime member of the University of Bologna's Network on Europe and the Balkans and a regular visiting professor in its graduate programs. A political theorist by training, Dean Mostov is a well-known scholar on Southeastern Europe. Her research explores notions of soft borders and transnational citizenship and focuses on the politics of national identity, sovereignty, citizenship, and gender. Publications related to these themes include her book, Soft Borders, Rethinking Sovereignty and Democracy, the co-edited volume From Gender to Nation, and book chapters such as Soft Borders and Transnational Citizens and Our Women, Their Women, Symbolic Boundaries, Territorial Markers, and Violence in the Balkans, as well as thought pieces such as Populism is Always Gendered and Dangerous for Women in Democracy. She's presented her interdisciplinary research with a focus on Southeastern Europe at universities and conferences in many parts of the globe. She served as a consultant for both the United States and the European Union during the breakdown of Yugoslavia, and designed and implemented State Department grants in support of democratic transitions and women's leadership in Eastern Europe and the Balkans. Her earlier scholarship in democratic theory includes such work as Power, Process, and Popular Sovereignty, Endangered Citizenship, and Democracy in the Politics of National Identity. She holds an AB from Mount Holyoke College, a master's degree from the University of Belgrade, and a PhD in politics from right here at NYU. In addition to her academic engagement, Dean Mostov has been a longtime activist and advocate for women's rights, serving, among other roles, as chair of the board of Women Against Abuse, Pennsylvania's largest agency addressing domestic and intimate partner violence. She's the recipient of major awards for her advocacy to end gender-based violence from Women Against Abuse and Women's Way. I invite to the stage Dean Julie Mostov.
Welcome, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you all here today. I'm thrilled that we are here for the 2023 commencement for the Global Liberal Studies students. First, I want to thank everyone who made this day possible, including family, friends, parents, partners, faculty, advisors, staff, and those who put together this beautiful program today. Thank you all. Congratulations, class of 2023. You made it. It's been a challenging, exciting, and uncharted journey on the square, abroad, in person, and on Zoom. Yes, on Zoom. You've distinguished yourselves by your resilience in the face of adversity, your creativity, your intellectual curiosity, and your passion for learning and for social justice. Global, interdisciplinary, and engaged. You are scholars, writers, and creatives committed to making our world a better place. You've explored New York City and cities across NYU's global network, dug deep into your research areas, shared your findings, discoveries, and new questions with colleagues and teachers. You followed your queries and thirst for knowledge and gained inspiration from a number of sources. You've taken up the challenge of storytelling and created documentaries, film scripts, shorts and series, explored identities in works of poetry and prose, and found your voice in music production, social criticism, and artistic expression. Undaunted by the COVID-19 pandemic, you've protested and spoken out on critical issues, listened and engaged with ideas different than your own, and searched for innovative solutions to wicked problems. You've learned to question and to expand your horizons, to experiment, to fail and start again, and to transform opportunities into celebrated outcomes. You have uncovered meaning in complex tasks, interrogated entrenched systems of oppression, and explored new technologies. You've proposed original readings, imagined new worlds, and found your own creative platforms. You've struggled through difficult moments and succeeded in going beyond your own expectations, finding strengths and talents that you didn't know you had. I'm so impressed with the work you've done, your knowledge, insights, creativity, sensitivity, and humor. Your GLS path has taken you in many different directions, and it's exciting to think about where this path will take you next. As you continue your journeys, I am confident that you will be strengthened by the wisdom of your professors and advisors, the laughter you shared with your friends and classmates, and the experiences you gained from completing your internships and theses, by following intellectual quests and personal forays into the unknown, and drawing on lessons that you learned from persevering in the face of challenges. Please keep your GLS passion, curiosity, and concern for others alive, and make the most of all of the experiences that come your way, and then seek more. Finally, keep us posted and come back often. Congratulations to all of you, and including friends and family. Okay. Now, I have the distinct honor of introducing you to one of our co-valedictorians, David Eluth.
Hello and good morning. Thank you, Dean Mostov, Dean White, President Hamilton, to all the faculty and staff. Before I begin, once again, a huge congratulations to all of my peers. These 4 years, while formative, have not been easy. We are graduating after enduring some of the most difficult times in recent memory. A pandemic, a mental health crisis, a climate crisis, and political turmoil, just to name a few. But we've made it. Our successes here today have been hard fought, they've been hard won, and they've made us more resilient, more curious, and ultimately more adaptable. None of this today could have been possible, first and foremost, without the support of our wonderful professors and advisors here at GLS. To the faculty and staff, I thank you for your guidance, your support during turbulent times, and most importantly, thank you for providing us all with inspiration and motivation on our academic journeys. Yes, they deserve a round of applause. To parents, grandparents, siblings, extended families, chosen families, and friends, none of this would have been possible without your immense care, your love, your support, and your generosity. I know that I would not have been able to attend NYU, much less stand here and speak to you all today, had it not been for the boundless generosity of many, many people. Take a moment for a second, my peers, to think back to the summer of 2019. The first Democratic primary debate had just taken place. Lil Nas X's Old Town Road was blasting on every radio station. COVID was a typo on your phone, if even that. And I, like many of you, was preparing to move to New York to begin my college career. In the weeks before the semester began, we were asked to consider a question which has arisen time and time again since then. Where are you local? This question asked us to reconsider our ideas of home, identity, and place as defined as being much more than just where you were born, where you've grown up, much more than a certain city or a country. Instead, we reflected on the locations with which we were intimately familiar, which played a role in defining our senses of self. This question offered us a key insight into what GLS would be for 4 years, an examination of our world not only at a broad level, but through a local lens. As an immigrant, a descendant of 4 generations of migrants and refugees, and as a queer Jewish person from Texas, my journey to the stage was at no point guaranteed. Like many of my peers, speaking different languages, interacting with different cultures, I've navigated a complex sense of locality, which has often left me feeling local nowhere. Yet this very dissonance fueled a quest for understanding over these last 4 years. We have each become intimately familiar with cities such as Madrid, Tel Aviv, and Buenos Aires, not to mention right here in New York. Our classes, from our first year global writing seminars to our junior year city as text classes, guided us in discovering these new cities and in rediscovering cities we thought we already knew. Meanwhile, other courses, from our sophomore seminars to our colloquium and thesis classes, have allowed us to become locals not only in the cities where we have studied, but in specific academic, social, political, and cultural issues. Across GLS concentrations, we've each found specific sites of interest, areas which we have spent the better part of a year now researching, discussing, questioning, and analyzing. Our theses this year have truly showcased the breadth of our intellectual curiosity. We have explored with passion and rigor topics as diverse as measures for community health, New York City's MTA and the metaverse, indigenous community rights, and women's sports. Each GLS graduate in this room has become a local in a different set of challenges and questions, a testament to our boundless intellectual curiosity and our dedication to exploring the complexities of the world which we inhabit. And in a world of increasing complexity, one in which technology, culture, politics, and media all intersect, no two issues are ever truly disconnected. GLS has gifted us with the most powerful tool of all in this complex world, an interdisciplinary understanding of the modern world in which we live. As we've learned, our world can be volatile, erratic, and unpredictable. We never know what is around the next corner, socially, politically, or economically. I was raised by a loving, resilient, and proud single mother who taught me that there are only two things which are truly certain to be ours: the knowledge we possess and the relationships that we cultivate. GLS has provided us with the tools to not only become globally informed and locally aware, but to remain curious and to cultivate that curiosity in new places and diverse disciplines. GLS has provided us with the resources to grow all of the knowledge that we have possessed and accumulated over these 4 years. What's left then are the relationships that we cultivate. We came to this university and are graduating from GLS not only through our own aptitude, but through the efforts of countless people. We each came to NYU with our own support systems, people within our family, our social circles, and our broader communities who have come together to make us the people we are and provide us with love, guidance, and encouragement in all of its different forms. During our 4 years, we have expanded those systems of relationships. As we graduate today, we have become a support system for each other. I know that I would not have made it this far without a fantastic support system, including my peers. I may not hold the wisdom of ages, but I'd like to share a quote by someone who most definitely does, who has inspired politicians and professors, artists and activists. Italian philosopher Lady Gaga once said, "The reason I am here is because of my relationship with my family, my friends, and my mentors. Their encouragement of me to be passionate and to work hard is what is most important. As long as I stay in that space, I can do anything." Nothing is more true for all of us here today. We've demonstrated remarkable adaptability, creativity, and compassion, supporting each other through trials and celebrating our victories. As we stride forward, let us continue to carry not only our intellectual curiosity, but also our resilient spirit and our collective strength. I have no doubt that we will continue to make a positive impact on this world wherever our paths may lead us. Thank you, and congratulations to you all.
Let's hear it again for David. I'm feeling so inspired by all of those words, including Lady Gaga's. But now I have the great honor to introduce our 16th university president, Professor Dr. Andrew Hamilton. President Hamilton is not only a renowned chemist, scholar, fellow of the Royal Society, but also an amazing and strong, steadfast supporter of global liberal studies. In fact, of the global network. I've met him in a number of the international sites, of our global sites. And I've heard him inspire audiences throughout my 6 years here. And it is so much a thrill for me to be able to introduce him in his last year as president, but not as scholar and leader at NYU. Andy Hamilton, please. Thank you so much.
Dean Mostoff, thank you very much. And David, what a wonderful address. Congratulations to you. I would just add one thing, however. Lady Gaga is a philosopher. She was also an NYU student, so let's not forget that. But Dean Mostoff, colleagues, family, friends, and most of all, the outstanding, the amazing Global Liberal Studies class of 2023. Congratulations to you all. Now, my wife Jenny, who's in the audience, and I bring greetings from all of NYU to you on this very special morning. Let me also add my thanks to all of those who are making this great day possible and graduation at Yankee Stadium tomorrow. But I do want to point out to all of you that I get given the most important job of all in planning for graduation. I am in charge of the weather. And haven't I done a good job? But let me also say what a joy this week is for all of us. For Jenny and me, we are rushing around New York. We have 18 different graduation ceremonies this week and next. We go to Abu Dhabi and Shanghai for their graduation ceremonies next week. I rushed this morning from Radio City Music Hall in a little while, and I will ask your forgiveness because I will later in the ceremony have to slip away. I'll be going to Beacon Theatre, and here we are at Skirball Theatre. And as I stand in these amazing places, I always feel a need to channel a great performer. And, you know, should it be Beyonce, I wonder? Should it be Adele? But no, I decided that right now, the person I feel most like is Elton John. And why Elton John? Because Elton John has an English accent, just like me. Elton John is old, just like me. Elton John is on a farewell tour, just like me. Elton John's playing to packed crowds, just like me. But I, unlike Elton, I get to wear even more gorgeous gowns than Elton wears. And let me show you mine. And I will say what a very special and bittersweet week this is. As you heard from Dean Mostoff, this is my last few weeks as president of NYU, the last time that I will have the chance to address NYU graduates before returning, as you heard from Dean Mostoff, to my research and my teaching in your school, the college, the school, the Faculty of Arts and Science. And so for me, it's a great joy to be here with all of you. But one of the other things that I recognize as doing this farewell tour and visiting all of our schools and seeing all of the amazing graduates is that NYU's schools and NYU's graduates are thriving. Just look at the Global Liberal Studies class of 2023. Among you are award and fellowship winners in leadership, in social impact, in public service, in international affairs, speech and debate, politics, and podcasting. Some of you are going on to pursue graduate degrees in law, international relations, public health, public administration, the humanities, the social sciences. Others are preparing for employment in every conceivable sector, and employment's important, especially for your parents, but for us at NYU as well. In employment in every conceivable sector, from business to NGOs to media companies to public service and government. Now, we hear a lot in the world today about division and divisiveness, but despite your varied backgrounds and your amazing difference in your pathways and interests, class of 2023 from GLS, you are an antidote to division and divisiveness. When I look at global liberal studies, I see unity. You are united in your strong foundation in the liberal arts. You are united in your global outlook and fluency. You are united in your ability to engage in discourse on big questions and challenging issues. You are united in your interdisciplinary, creative thinking and your adventurous spirit. And you are united in your desire to make a lasting, positive impact on the world. Of course, as GLS students, you also share a special bond, the strength of the global liberal studies community and the ties that you forge through an undergraduate experience like no other. Now, I know that as you leave NYU after tomorrow graduation ceremony in Yankee Stadium, as you go out into the world, you will draw on the support of the GLS community, but you will also draw on your talent, your drive, your commitments to make a difference wherever your path leads you next. And so, to each and every one of our graduating students today, know that you take with you the very best wishes of Jenny and me, but no more than that, that you take with you the great pride of the entire NYU community. So GLS, class of 2023 graduates, congratulations to every one of you and best wishes for the future. Well done.
These hats. Thank you so much, President Hamilton. Wonderful words of advice and cheer and congratulations. Who could ask for more? Thank you. Now I have the immense pride in telling you something about some very specific awards. You heard from President Hamilton that our students have garnered awards and have been appreciated for their leadership, their scholarship, their global engagement, their social impact work. But we have a few awards that are specific to liberal studies that I'm going to mention. There are, of course, many more. First, I would like to mention our co-valedictorians. Perhaps you could stand up when I say this, and that is Andrea Giacomini, and David Eluth. Now I'll mention some of the other awards which are so critical. The Schwarzbach Global Impact Award, and the awardees are Marlena George and Catherine Gross. Woo! Congratulations, Marlena and Catherine. And the Community Leadership Award, and that goes to Jordan Hubbard and Guinevere Pandolfi. Congratulations to both of them as well. And now, the 2023 GLS Thesis Award winners and honorable mentions by their concentrations. You know, we all know what this means, to get through and then to get awards in your senior thesis, the capstone of global liberal studies, something that distinguishes us from other degrees undergraduate degrees at NYU. A global senior thesis or creative production. Pretty impressive. And we also, in congratulating you and your families and friends who heard you crying and weeping and worrying over these, we also congratulate the dedicated faculty who made these possible. And so I will go through. Now, since there are a number of winners, I would ask that you wait until I finish with those rousing applause. Thanks. I know it'll be hard. Okay, Art Text Media, The thesis winner is Isla James, Saint to Slut, the representation of sex workers in art. Thesis director, Professor Lindsay Davies. Honorable mention, Haley Falk, There Are No Rules, exploring the shifting landscape of pop music and pop artists. Thesis director, Lindsay Davies. Critical creative production, Justin Racine. Skydive, a Black cosmopolitan story in sound. Thesis director, Suzanne Menraj. Honorable mention, Victoria Mong, Behind the Outlet Mall, on consumption, global capitalism, and parking lots. Thesis director, Professor Jessamine Hatcher. Honorable mention, Angelicia Ochoa Rivera, Night Walking, an experimental documentary. Thesis director, Professor Jessamine Hatcher. Cultural and social identities. Winner, Melinda Ye, titled Space and Solidarity Among Women-Loving Women, Practicing Mixité Choisie in Paris. Thesis director, Professor Mitra Rostegar. Law, Ethics, and Religion. Winner, McKenna Vickery, Blackstone, Koch, Hale, and the like, The Problem of Precedent in Dobbs v. Jackson, History of Abortion. Thesis director, Professor Peter Valenti. Honorable mentions, Andrea Giacomini, Our Violence, Their Violence, a comparison of mainstream U.S. journalistic coverage of the 2021 Israel-Gaza war and Russia-Ukraine war. Thesis director, Professor Peter Valenti. Honorable mention, Christina Kovalik, Paradigm Lost, Exploring Earth Jurisprudence in Bolivia. Thesis director, Regina Grammer. Politics, Rights, and Development. Winner, Hannah Louise Gallagher. The Orangutan versus Palm Oil, an analysis on the complexities of a global product threatening biodiversity. Thesis director, Professor Roxana Julia. Honorable mention, Catherine Gross. Cultural Cliches and the Clio Craze. How did Great Britain use propaganda between 1882 and 1922 to influence British public opinion to support their annexation of Egypt? Thesis director, Professor Brendan Hogan. Honorable mention, Carolina Walchuk. European Union in Jeopardy, the effect of Polish membership on the European Union. Thesis director, Professor Peter Diamond. And finally, Sustainability, Health, and the Environment, winner Brianna Bazile. Dispossession, Development, Diversions, and Deliverance. Food regime analysis through the lens of Black American, Black Belt Alabamans. Thesis director, Professor Genia Monaro Maciel. Honorable mention, Abigail Braccio. Pandemic Prevention Paradigm, utilizing community health workers for communicable disease response efforts in low-resource, high-density areas. Thesis director, Professor Genia Naro Maciel. Now, let's hear it for all of them. You know, when you hear those different titles, you really understand how global liberal studies is global, interdisciplinary, and engaged. What a wide range of exciting research and scholarship and creative production. Bravo to all of you. Congratulations again. now, whoops. Yes, the moment you've been waiting for. I'm looking for the schedule of events, but yes, it's here. You are going to stand up row by row, prompted by our staff, and come up here and be recognized by all of us. So, Professor Squillace, our Interim Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, will give you instructions. Thank you.
In just a moment, we will begin the conferral of the baccalaureate degree on the GLS class of 2023. But first, I would like to explain the ceremony that you are about to witness. Each of our undergraduates will come up and present their name card to me, and I will read their names. When I read their names, and not before, they will walk to the center of the stage where they will receive a few symbolic objects, and I will explain what those objects are. First of all, they will receive a GLS stole, which is the symbol of our school, and we ask that they wear that stole at the Yankee Stadium graduation if they are attending it tomorrow, both to show their pride in GLS and also so that we can identify them, they can identify each other, and we can make sure that no one else sneaks into their places in the seating arrangements. They will also receive two connected symbolic objects, a rose in NYU purple and a heart that is attached to it. The rose we encourage them to give to someone who has been important in their journey to this moment. The heart that is attached to the rose actually contains a seed, and it can be planted and it will grow. I don't entirely know into what, but some lovely plant. And this symbolizes the way that we hope the seed of their GLS graduation, of their CLS degree, their time in GLS, will blossom over the rest of their lives and careers. There will be two Instagrammable moments. One when people will pause to get their stole and rose and heart and be congratulated by Dean Mostov, and then they will proceed further downstage and have their picture taken in front of the GLS banner. So with no further ado, let us begin the ceremony of the conferral of the baccalaureate degree on the GLS class of 2023. One more round of applause for the class as a whole. Julia Xiaowei Huang. Naya Sweden. Valeria Cosgrove. Neely Rose Kasanoff. Celia Martinez. Justin Racine. Catherine Gross. Morgan Shang. Maya Desolege. Sasha Lewitt. Destiny Yearwood. Chanel Pulido. Grace Wanabo. Lear Shu. Xiao Tang. Yi Jun Hu. Hans Lee. Reggie Gordon. Ethan Seavey. Marlena George. Hannah Gallagher. Elizabeth Craig. Lauren Collins. Jackson Wong. Sophia Diorio. Ayla James. Kira Cross. Haley Falk. Christina Kovalik. Megan Joe. Axe Gladich. Akir Stewart. Hannah DeGrief. Carmen Angelica Zapata. John Platt. Asher Moskowitz. Jamie Simonson. Rishi Deer. Amanda DeCastro. Naya Marie Anjovaldo. Harwinder Prince Singh. Michael Gartland. Alex Ramirez. McKenna Vickery. Zed Salahuddin. Angelicia Ochoa Rivera. Sandra Wu Meyer. Servel Vidal. Carolina Valchik. James Han Choi. Simon Kaufman. Emma Shores. Claudia Baltodano. Jillian Yenping Yang. Alexander Tilley. Sihui Melinda Ye. Brianna Bazile. Guinevere Pandolfi. Abigail Braccio. Gabriela Alexandria Cruz Camacho. Emily Minsa Kim. Chelsea Barragan. Nicole Villagomez. Ana Domahidi. Anaya Galibdin. Neha Thachil. Nina Sweeney. Kayleen Prokanik. Haley Zachman. Jenna El Satui. Jaylan Gulason. Sarika Ramalingam. Dayani Maskani. Ferran Rajier Rodriguez. Jordan Hubbard. Ryan Carney. Andrea Christine Valentina Giacomini. David Iluz. Victoria Alexander. You may now move the tassel on your mortar board from one side to the other, indicating that you have graduated. One more round of applause. And let me reintroduce Dean Julie Mostoff.
Let's give a hand to Professor Squillace. That wasn't easy. Now I have the honor of introducing you to Victoria Alexander, who will be our student speaker, who was chosen for this through a competitive process. Victoria, so great. I do this to my students. I give their last names first. Victoria, so proud of you.
Okay, breathe. The past 4 years, and 5 for some of us, thank you to Miss Rona, have been a lot. and I've had to remind myself to breathe on too many occasions to count. It's a challenge at any point to take all that life gives you. But for us, life said, I'm just gonna put a little extra piece on your plate. Which is why, lately, as more tides in the world shift and many stay the same, I've been contemplating the significance of the coming-of-age story, what it means in the present popular imagination. In stories, the experience of coming of age can mean many things. There are the common tropes: awakening, betrayal, loss, discovery of identity, and there is ultimately the formal Bildungsroman. These narratives, which we've all shared in, tell stories of situations that disrupt, reshape, and recolor who we are, the indescribable hurts that alter one's character and feelings about the world. The narratives may overlap or interplay with one another, but the plot eventually seeks to chronicle our psychological and moral growth from childhood to some arrival at adulthood, whatever that means. God knows I'm 24 and still watching Scooby-Doo remakes. The coming-of-age plot can make for good entertainment in books. There's always a last page, a definite message. But in real life, our stories and lessons are not as clear as controlled narrativity. They're multidimensional and polychromatic. In the first week of my freshman year, which was fall 2018, the liberal studies faculty had asked all new freshmen to watch 2 TED Talks in preparation of our new journey at the time to a new life in a lot of new countries. The first was from writer Taye Selassie. It was called, "Don't Ask Me Where I'm From, Ask Where I'm Local," and our valedictorian knows that message well. She posed the question, how can a human being come from a concept? She was urging listeners to challenge our understanding of locality and identity when considering an individual. The second was Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's famous speech on the danger of a singular narrative, a single story. As I look back on the past 5 years, I found myself revisiting these women and reevaluating the lessons shared. So, as a storyteller, I will attempt giving you a wider view of my Bildungsroman. The woman's name is Victoria. She grew up loving poetry like Hughes and crying at the stories of great leaders like Patrice Lumumba. She grew up on an island in the Caribbean called St. Lucia, and her family has lived there since they were sold. It's one of the places she's local. Her mother owned a local business there, and she grew up frequenting the city as her mother bought goods from the warehouse district to bring back over. Through a blossomed love of the city, she decided to go to NYU, and when she applied to American universities, she didn't expect to be accepted at all. She didn't know anyone who had gone to college really, maybe one. So to her disbelief and confusion to the letter sent to her, it didn't just say accepted, it said she was going to spend her first year away in Florence. And as she looked over at the Mediterranean, she was captivated by the beauty, but also terrified by the change of pace from the island shores she was used to. And the next 5 years were going to be a turbulent hurricane of changing currents, more turbulent than imaginable. Yet, I will say that true journeys begin in faith, in desperation, a last hope. And the only guideline is to go too far. I quickly realized that university wasn't just becoming a student, it was a migration of one's identity, and as a first-generation Caribbean woman, it was difficult assimilating to first world culture so quickly. But we adapt ourselves to the requirement of chaos, and I thought myself the master of my fate. Still, in the spring semester of my freshman year, my father passed away suddenly, and whilst I was at school, and my plot shifted once again forever. Devastated doesn't match the gravity of this, and a void doesn't begin to describe the space left behind. I never found it so hard to breathe. I loved him more than numbers could be counted. When he died, within the bounds of some absurd cosmic reasoning, I thought it was my fault for trying too hard to change too many things too quickly. And as a global pandemic followed, and it was suddenly hard for everyone to breathe, change started to feel like the end of the world, and progress felt like a mistake. But like the purest of gems under immense pressure, we've all proved resilience. GLS has afforded us the possibility for brand new experiences and localities in the midst of catastrophe. Our stories have taken us far beyond our borders. We have been bound to a network of stories and places, that have formed the branches of a global canopy of human experience. In the past 5 years, I've lived in 4 different countries and visited more than my fingers could count. I've found rituals of getting my hair braided by Senegalese women in Brixton. I've spent weekends volunteering at a nursery for immigrant mothers along La Via Romana. I've made random friends in the pubs of Bloomsbury and the restaurants of Liguria. We have been students in just this time. There were days when we walked around a little hungry, a little dazed. Yet another moment, we adapt to chaos and have proof resilience. Okay. So, in this time, we have been just students. There were days when we walked around a little hungry, a little dazed, and desire spoke to us violently. A little lonely, slightly happy, a bit of an actor of ourselves. We've listened to music, and the music was wild. We admired Renaissance palaces, visited our poor kings, untold histories, and shattered truths. In this time, I've rediscovered that though we lose and change, new life is also offered, and there is nothing to fear in the days that will follow. As experience is identity, and we have all been through so much, we must consider who we are in our stories now. We've been bound to new cultures, shared histories, and have metamorphosized in who we are. Keep that. Think of nothing but your own magic experienced in real time. It makes our journeys worth it, and around the corner may lay something curious and interesting. Your story now will not just become your work or what you did with your degree. Our classes will not just have been our transcript, and in turn, this college experience could never be just our classes. With these years before you, may they come with you happily. With these years behind, above, or around you, happily may they go with you. You have thus accomplished all your tasks. I want to finish off by urging you to live with intention. Living is no joke. You must live with great seriousness, so seriously that even when you're 70, for example, you'll plant olive seeds, and not just so that the trees will grow for the children, but because though you fear death as we all fear the unknown, you don't believe in it. I mean, because living to the very end is so much more important. Things will never be the same as when we left our hometowns, but I cannot look at our stories now as a simple ushering in of adulthood. It would rob us of the wild dimensionalities and complex feelings that come with continued growth and brilliance. As our journeys continue to pages that stretch beyond the books of childhood and academia, take a deep breath. We've only arrived at a new frontier, limited only by the outer reaches of our minds. Thank you, and congratulations, everybody.
Oh, does remind you that life is always there with its curves and straights and narrows. So thank you all for your patience, and thank you all for your care. We so appreciate it. Now, we are going to end this part of the ceremony. But we will be marching out, and you'll be getting instructions for the exciting March to the Arch. Yes, I know you're waiting for it, and it is pretty great because, as President Hamilton said, he arranged for us to have a perfect day for it. So congratulations and thanks to all of our speakers. They did a great job.
So again, congratulations. I'm going to give the exit instructions, what we call the recessional, as we recess out of the auditorium today. So the graduates will recess first, and I know all of you are anxious to take photos, but we will ask that you stay seated. The graduates will be led out by staff who will be guiding them, beginning with the back row of graduates and moving forward to the front row. So please wait till your row is called. You'll be recessing out this aisleway here, and you'll be headed directly to Washington Square Park, where you will walk through the arch, the march through the arch. So we do ask parents and family to stay seated for the moment, just so that we can get the graduates out and headed across the street to the park and marching through the arch. Once you've walked through the arch, you will circle back, and then we will line up for a class photo. So all of you will be together in a class photo under Washington Square Arch, and the photo will hang in the Liberal Studies lobby forever. So it is a tribute to you. So again, for parents and families, please wait. I guarantee you it will take more than 15 minutes to get all the graduates together in the photo, so you will not miss the photo opportunity. So again, we were going to start with the back row of graduates. We're going to stand you up, take you out, and then after the first row, the front row of graduates recesses out, we will invite the platform party to recess with them. Once the full graduates and platform party is out, then all parents and families are dismissed. And I would say we would do it from back to front, but I know that order won't matter. So it'll just be a free-for-all once we get the platform party off the stage. Make sense? Okay, great. Thank you and congratulations again.